It's Monday, March 23rd, AD 2026. This is the Worldview in 5 minutes, written by yours truly and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. According to a new lawsuit from the American Center for Law and Justice, Chicago recently detained 3 Christian street preachers, all of whom were, quote, wrongfully arrested for nothing more than sharing the gospel in public, end quote, reports the Western Journal. The legal advocacy group said in a March 14th press release that street preacher Brett Rayo was arrested and charged for sharing the gospel of Christ in Millennium Park, although his case was dismissed before trial, with the ACLJ showing video evidence that exonerated him. His 2 friends were soon arrested at the same spot. Beyond getting slapped with baseless charges, the 3 friends were held in jail for more than 7 hours. The ACLJ said, quote, "It is a deliberate effort to silence religious expression," end quote. Chicago law only requires permits for amplification that is too loud. But according to the ACLJ, police are simply arresting any preacher who uses amplification at all. The Christian legal group asserted, quote, "This has all the makings of unconstitutional targeting of preachers, displaying an unlawful anti-Christian animus," end quote. Matthew 5:10 states, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Last Thursday, a key Senate committee voted 8-7 to advance President Donald Trump's nominee to be the next Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, reported NBC News. The vote in the Senate Homeland Security Committee sends Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma to the full Senate for consideration 1 day after a contentious confirmation hearing. The committee is divided between 8 Republicans and 7 Democrats. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, who chairs the committee, voted against Mullin after taking him to task for, quote, anger issues, end quote. Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania broke with other Democrats to vote for Mullin, ensuring that he advanced to the Senate floor, where he needs 51 votes for confirmation. On March 5th, the president fired Kristi Noem as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats continue to oppose the Save America Act, which would require voter ID in all 50 states. Listen to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York.
The core of the bill is handing the voter rolls over to DHS, putting them through an algorithm that supposedly knocks out illegal immigrants from voting.
In an interview with Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff on Fox News Channel, Sean Hannity said this.
71% of Democrats believe proof of citizenship, voter ID, so we can have election integrity and confidence in results. They don't want it. Why?
Well, we know why they don't want it, Sean, is because they want to cheat. That is the bottom of this whole entire thing. When you have overwhelming supermajorities of all races, all political parties, all ages, all demographics, all political ideologies of the voting public who want voter ID, who want proof of citizenship, but you have the elected Democrat Party, the Democrat officials in the House, in the Senate, at the state level, fighting with every ounce of strength they have to block voter ID, to block proof of citizenship. There is one and only one reason, and that is to enable cheating.
Miller revealed that the hostility of Democratic politicians to fair elections is even more demonstrable than that.
Here's something, Sean, that your audience may not know. At the beginning of this administration, we asked every state, red and blue, to share with us their voter rolls so that we could scrub it against the DHS file of illegal aliens to remove illegal aliens from their voting rolls. Every blue state refused. California refused. Minnesota refused. New York refused. In fact, they sued us to stop us from removing illegal aliens from the voter rolls, removing non-citizens from the voter rolls. But that's not just the only thing. They don't want to get dead people off the rolls. They don't want to get felons off the rolls. They don't want to get out-of-state voters off the rolls. They don't want to get double and triple voters out of the count. because they want the fraud.
Proverbs 10 verse 9 says, "Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out." Pollster Scott Rasmussen warned last Wednesday that if economic confidence remains at its current levels, the Republican Party may be on track for a shellacking in November's midterm elections, reports the Western Journal. Rasmussen, widely considered Republican-leaning, said that the GOP would lose control of both chambers of Congress if voters' pessimism about their personal finances does not improve, adding that, quote, "the window is rapidly closing," end quote, for mitigation. The pollster also emphasized that much of this low economic confidence is due to how President Donald Trump's war in Iran is causing fuel prices to skyrocket. Last Friday night, former FBI Director Robert Mueller died at the age of 81, reports NewsNation.com. According to the Associated Press, he led the FBI for 12 years, serving under Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama. Mueller later served as special counsel for the Department of Justice, investigating alleged ties between Russia and President Trump's 2016 campaign. His 448-page report, released in April 2019, did not find President Trump guilty of anything, which is why President Trump always said,
"This is a pure and simple witch hunt."
Mueller's family told the New York Times he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2021. And finally, tech billionaire Elon Musk is offering to personally cover the salaries of TSA workers as the Democrat-driven shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security drags on and punishes everyday Americans, reports Big League Politics. The partial shutdown, triggered by Senate Democrats on February 14th, has now stretched beyond a month as the minority party pushes sweeping immigration demands that would effectively cripple deportations of illegal aliens. Despite U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and U.S. Customs and Border Protection already being funded through 2029, Democrats chose to defund broader DHS operations, throwing critical agencies into disarray. The fallout has been immediate and severe. More than 400 TSA agents have already quit. Hundreds more are scrambling to find second jobs just to survive as paychecks stop coming. Meanwhile, roughly 50,000 TSA officers classified as essential are still showing up to work every day without pay, forced to wait on back pay while politicians play games in Washington. The result? Massive airport delays, growing security concerns, and frustration boiling over nationwide. Enter Elon Musk. Taking to X on Saturday, Musk made a headline-grabbing offer. He wrote, quote, "I would like to offer to pay the salaries of TSA personnel during this funding impasse that is negatively affecting the lives of so many Americans at airports throughout the country," end quote. And according to the New York Times, President Trump issued a threat to deploy ICE agents in an apparent attempt to force Democrats to approve a new budget for the Department of Homeland Security. And that's the World View on this Monday, March 23rd, in the year of our Lord 2026. Follow us on X or subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.
This has been a production of the Generations Media Network. For more information, go to generations.org/media.
Thanks for listening to The Worldview in 5 minutes. If you want to go deeper than the headlines and build a biblical worldview in your home, Generations has resources to help you anchor your family in truth. Books, curriculum, and tools for every stage of life. And right now, listeners get 15% off any order with the code WV5. Just use WV and the number 5 at checkout at generations.org. Thanks for staying grounded in God's Word with us every day.